Thanks for having me.
So why don't we start with spending? You know, you got the National Defense Authorization Act, looks like a victory for Kevin McCarthy, an increase to spending on defense, more than Biden wanted, and of course the vaccine mandate thrown out. Your reactions, is this a victory for Republicans?
I think it is a victory for Republicans. I voted for it. I did not vote for it earlier this year because there was a lot of bad things in it that thankfully Republicans fought and were taken out. As you said, we got rid of the vaccine mandate for military service members in this. We also added protections for parents so that they know what's going on in the Department of Defense schools. We gave over a 4%, I think it was 4.7% pay raise to our service members. And in Arizona, we have many military bases, including Luke Air Force Base in my district, that received funding in the NDAA. So I was proud to support it. It does have, as far as fiscal conservativeness, it does increase spending. So some fiscal conservatives and myself had a little bit of heartburn over that. But I would much rather spend money on our military service members and making sure that our national defense is good and that protects America than spend money on other priorities that the Democrats have had in the past.
You know, one of the things about the Defense Department, and I'm with you, if we're going to spend money, we should spend it on our military, and we know that our service members sure could use the raise, but that department is fraught with waste, fraud, and abuse, and just because it has a military tag doesn't mean that Congress shouldn't be looking at that. You think the new Congress will?
I think we will. In fact, we talked about this yesterday. I was in a meeting yesterday with Kevin McCarthy, but 29 other Republicans on the steering committee, of which I'm a member of that. And we specifically talked about a specific committee made up of Republicans to look at overspending in military and where we can use the money more effectively. Maybe for programs that are more adept in the modern age, because we're spending money on military things that maybe are outdated, and I think we need to look at that.
Yeah, absolutely. Turning to the border, you're in Arizona. We broadcast here from Texas, and similar problems for both states with the amount of illegals coming across the border. Can anything be done? I know Republicans will not control the Senate. Can anything be done in the new Congress to help fix border problems? I know many are saying hold up any spending from the Biden administration unless he gets the border under control. Can you hold spending hostage to get that done?
Well, we'll see. I think that's certainly an option that needs to be done. I mean, you know, because you're in Texas and I'm in Arizona, the border is wide open. And even the illegal immigrants that are crossing the border and then being interviewed by reporters say, what do you mean the border's closed? No, it's wide open. I just crossed it. And so when President Biden and his press secretary continually say that the border is secure, they're absolutely lying to the American public. And that's sad. I've been to the border multiple times. I've talked to Border Patrol officers. Their morale is very low, especially now that Title 42 is going away. They no longer can turn away, soon. They no longer will be able to turn away illegal immigrants at the border due to communicable disease issues. And so now, as you know, there's more and more people gathering up on the Mexico side of the border waiting to come over as soon as Title 42 goes away. I do think the one thing, I have introduced legislation, and I'm going to introduce it again. I'm hoping to not only be on the Energy and Commerce Committee, but I'm hoping to also serve on the Judiciary Committee, and it would reinstall the Remain in Mexico policy. Yeah. I've talked to different people within Department of Homeland Security, and they said if there's only one thing that we could get done, it's to reinstall the Remain in Mexico policy, where people that are claiming asylum could continue to claim asylum, but they'd have to wait in a safe country like Mexico in order to go in front of the immigration judge. And when Trump did that, all these people, it automatically reduced the amount of people trying to cross.
Congresswoman, everyone I've talked to says remain in Mexico and the wall. Combine those two things, we would see a lot of our problems go away. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Lastly, you talked about if you serve on judiciary, Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, the Biden crime family, as many of your Republican colleagues call it in Washington. What can be done about getting to the bottom of just how compromised Joe Biden is?
Well, since Republicans have the majority in January, we're going to be doing a lot of oversight. And it won't be just in the Judiciary Committee, which I'm sure Jim Jordan is going to do a lot of oversight about Hunter Biden and Twitter not revealing the New York Post articles about what Hunter Biden was doing before the last election. But also on energy and commerce. We have big technology under the jurisdiction of the committee that I serve on. And under that committee, we also have an oversight subcommittee. And so we're planning on doing a lot of oversight within our committee, Energy and Commerce as well, including big technology, including the origins of COVID, and so on and so forth. And I think Republicans are going to coordinate between all of the different committees and seeing who is going to do oversight of which one, because we have a whole other oversight committee that Jamie Comer from Kentucky is the chair of, and then we'll have Jim Jordan as the chair of Judiciary. But then all of the other committees within those committees have oversight as well. And so I think we're all going to coordinate and make sure that we cover a lot of issues.
There are a lot of issues to cover, that is for sure. Congresswoman Debbie Lesko of Arizona, we appreciate you coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.